Hi everyone and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my last alternative project that I created with the 2023 paper pumpkin kit from July called Fun in the Sun. This fun kit created 9 different cards, and you're going to get enough supplies to make 3 of each of these cards. And I'm just really excited to have been able to make so many cards with the contents from this kit. Today I am sharing my last card, which is another fun fold card, and I'm just using up some of the last scraps and pieces that I have left over. So let's first talk about the card base. So I'm going to be using crumb cake cardstock, and I am going to score my card base at 4 1/4. So this piece is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and just score it at 4 1/4. So it's going to fold like this. To get the center flap so that it just comes up and not the sides, we're going to go ahead and cut it right here. So this center panel here is 4 inches across. And so that leaves me 1 1/2 inches left over, which means I'm going to cut 3/4 of an inch on each side. So you can measure here on the right side or on the left. The left side is 4 3/4. And then you're going to cut from one side to your score line. So once it hits your score line, stop. And that's going to be that first side. And then you can flip it and repeat on the other side. So 3/4 of an inch on the right and 4 3/4 on the left, and just cut to that score line. Just like that. And then those two are going to come down and we have that center flap. So we also need to cut this piece down to 4 inches. So I'm going to flip that over and just trim off that section there. So that's that. And then yesterday we used another envelope. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. This is the back piece that I'm using. Yesterday we used some of the front piece, and if you want, you could use some of that too. It just depends on how much we're creating this ocean effect here on the background. So if you want that to go up higher, then you can use more of that envelope. So I'm just looking for something. It doesn't really matter if it's 4 inches because I can trim it down to fit. And then the last thing I'm going to use is that blue piece from yesterday's card. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 4 inches as well, because that's going to be my sky here in the background. Okay, let's start with our waves. So this is the back piece. This is the envelope piece that has, this is Azure Afternoon. What I like about this is it has a white core, which means that if I was to tear it, and I'm going to tear it towards me, it's going to show white on the inside. And that's what I want to see for my waves. So I'm just going to create a bunch of strips, and I am tearing towards me. So if I don't tear towards me, it's going to show it on the other side. So I want to make sure I'm seeing the white on this side of the paper. And I'm just going to keep tearing. Maybe 3 or 4 strips. They can be any height or width. They can kind of go up or down. Okay, doesn't really matter. Then what I'm going to do is take them and I'm going to start adding them at right behind the sand, and then I'm just going to keep going up. So I think the easiest way to do this is just add a little adhesive to the back here, and then add it just like that. And you can see here why I would just trim off those edges. Just make sure that you're always putting the white side up. So that's going to be the next one. So put a little adhesive on the back of the bottom one and add it to the next side. Whoop. Okay, so it's going to create this really fun wave look. And you can do as many of these as you want. And then the last one. There we go. Okay. So every time you do it, it's going to look a little bit different. And I'm going to bring back my paper trimmer. And I'm just going to trim off the excess. And if I didn't want to use my paper trimmer, I could use a pair of paper snips if you're a little nervous about cutting it. Okay, so you get this nice finish edge right there. Then I'm going to take my blue piece, and there should be plenty of space for everything to fit on that center panel. But before I add it, I'm going to stamp in Daffodil Delight my sun. And I'm just going to stamp in the top right corner. Just like that. So go ahead and add this to that center piece. Make sure it goes all the way up to the top of the card base. So it looks something like this. Then you're going to add some adhesive here. And then I'm going to pop up this surfboards with dimensionals just to add a little more fun to the card. Make sure it's going to all the sides. And then you can take 2 dimensionals and just add them to your card. Just like that. Okay. For these 2 side pieces, I did not want to cut them because I wanted them to have like this nice finished look. So I'm going to actually just glue them right down to the card base here. And then I thought it would be fun to tie a bow around it. So you can see that when you open it, that bow still is there. So we can do that in a minute. Let's go ahead and finish doing a couple extra things. Oh, I just noticed that I'm stamping some starfish in my sand. So let's do that. I've got my crumb cake and let's see, here's my starfish stamp. We'll also stamp some more of those on the inside too. I'm also using the waving hello sign. Had that left over. And we can stamp our greeting inside that with the Azure Afternoon. So here's the waving hello. It's a long one. So to get the stamp to fit inside this square, all you need to do is ink up half of the image at a time. And you can do that by just using the edge of your ink pad and then stamping it in the top. Then you do need to clean it. And then stamp off just to make sure you're not getting like a halo effect. And then you go and get the next section and just place it right underneath. And that is how you can get that image. This is going to get popped up with dimensionals. And just place it next to those surfboards Really cute. And then whatever little embellishments, die cuts that you have left over, you can also add to your card. So I have one of the crabs and 2 of the seashells left. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those here. And then I have 2 seashells. I'm going to do one with a dimensional and one with a glue dot. So the glue dot is going to go down first, and it's going to go underneath behind the grass. And then my little dimensional is just going to go next to him on the left, just a little lower. Then let's go ahead and do our ribbon. So let's think for a minute. So this is 5.5 inches times 2, because we're wrapping it around, is 11. So if we go to maybe 16 or 18 inches, that might give us enough ribbon. And I wanted to do it on the right side, or you could do it on the left. Yeah, I think 18 inches was the right amount. Pull that nice and tight. And you can cut that down a little bit if you want and fray it. And you could do an angle or just a straight cut. I chose to do just a straight cut because I'm fraying it kind of like it's an old weathered, you know, fabric that you can find at the beach. So cute. And then if you'd like to add a couple starfish inside, you can do that. Just like that. And your card is all done. If you have any of the clear sequins left over, you could add those too. You can do whatever you want with whatever little pieces you have left over. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun fold card using the contents from the July 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you are interested in getting your own crafting kit, you can use the link in the description box below to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.